Trying to predict these NFL playoff games has me in pain and agony. I seriously don't know what's going to happen this year. This is the most unpredictable season of all time. Craziness. It's only going to get crazier in the playoffs. Welcome. We're going to do some playoff predictions. We're not going to talk about I'm from the future. We're not going to say this is the perfect playoff bracket. We're going to give it to you the real, chop it up, the breakdown, because I can reverse these picks in the snap of the finger. But basically going to go through every single matchup, who's going to win the AFC, who's going to win the NFC, because there's some teams that I don't think deserve to be as high seeds as they are that can fool the public eye if you haven't been watching these teams all season. But appreciate you guys watching. This bracket in general is just nuts. Denver, the 1 seed. Seattle, the 1 seed. Both on buys. And then as for the matchups, I mean, you could just put it in two different things here. You got all the favorites. Buffalo's favored on the road against Jacksonville. New England, 3.5-point favorites against the Chargers. Houston, favored on the road against Pittsburgh. You're going to see a lot of road teams favored just because of the crazy wildcard teams we've seen, especially in the NFC. Rams, 10.5-point favorites against Carolina. I understand why the line is so big. We saw the Panthers play against the Bucs. Wasn't the greatest. And we already saw the Panthers beat the Rams, but realistically, in the playoffs, Sean McVay is going to win when it matters most, although the Panthers have played well at home. Green Bay, Chicago. Green Bay's favored by 1. San Fran, Philly. Philly's favored. I don't know what to make of this. This is crazy because we'll start with the AFC. Buffalo, Jacksonville's the game to watch. That I realistically was going back and forth, like trying to think of something to go with, and I'll tell you my winner in a second, but Buffalo has not impressed me, especially towards the end of the season. They did rest their starters in Week 18. However, Jacksonville has been on a tear. This is the same Jacksonville team that got ran over by the Rams in London. However, after that game, I guess after the Texans game, even the Texans game they played well, but that's kind of where they got smashed. So Davis Mills came back against that team. They have been not flawless, but they've been very good. 35-6 beat up the Chargers. Beat the Cardinals in overtime. Yeah, it shouldn't have got to overtime. But Trevor Lawrence, again, great back half of the season. This has been the great team of Liam Cohen, who should be in contention for Coach of the Year. Ben Johnson, a lot of big names, but apparently it's going to go to Mike Vrabel with the MVP quarterback and Drake May. Expected, but there's a lot of great coaches this year. And here's the thing. Playoff experience does matter. Sean McDermott has been before, and the Bills could obviously get right. They can get hot at the right time. They can go on to a Super Bowl run. This is Josh Allen's time to go win a Super Bowl without Patrick Mahomes in the bracket, without Lamar Jackson, without Joe Burrow. But honestly, Jacksonville is a good team, okay? And I can't pick against the team that is absolutely on fire to start the postseason. The Bills rested their starters in Week 18. Not that that's a bad thing, but again, on the road, favorites, they have not impressed me. That game against Philadelphia, I couldn't believe my eyes. I know the Eagles have a much better defense than the Jaguars in terms of their pass coverage. Yeah, 12 points is definitely not acceptable in a playoff game, but look at this. 12 points against the Eagles, 23 points against the Browns. A lucky win, a lucky comeback win against New England in the second half. They should have lost this game against Cincinnati. I don't trust the Bills' defense. Ed Oliver's not going to be back. Jacksonville is going to find a way to prevail. I don't know how deep they can go on a run, but I don't care. Liam Cohen doesn't have any playoff experience. He did technically with Tampa, but again, looking at this team, they have all the capabilities of upsetting the Bills, and I think that is the one and only upset. Every year in the wild card, there's always one upset. Sometimes they say it's the road team. Jacksonville's at home, and there's only one team. I want the Niners to beat the Eagles in the NFC, but after watching the Niners play the Seahawks, I don't know what to say. Let's go ahead and actually look at the Niners. I know I'm bouncing all around. I know I said I was going to go AFC first, but my brain's going all over. So, again, the Niners have to score 48 points if they want to win the game. We know what the Eagles' offense isn't capable of because they go 3 and out more than any playoff team right now in the bracket. But, again, 48-27, 42-38. You score 3 points against Seattle. The Eagles' defense is very good. Now, let's get back on planet Earth here, back to the bracket. Okay, Bills, Jaguars. Jags at home. I'm taking Jacksonville. I want to pick Buffalo. I want it to be Josh Allen's year, but I don't see it. The Bills' defense is not there. I think the Bills should go one and done, and they should fire Sean McDermott. I don't know what they were doing in the Eagles game. I know it was raining. I know they couldn't get offense going. They had chances, yes, whatever you want to say, but they should not have kicked. They should have kicked the extra point to go into overtime. I don't know what they were doing. Again, it's one game in the regular season. It only matters in the postseason, but the Bills have not done anything. So, Bills in the AFC. I know I'm supposed to be going fast here, but I'm trying to go through every game methodically. Why did I pick the Bills? Methodically. Okay, this one's pretty simple. New England over the Chargers. Yes, Jim Harbaugh's a great coach. Mike Vrabel is also a great coach. Patriots, one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Drake May, MVP quarterback. If the Patriots got first rounded, I would be very surprised. The Chargers could hang in there, no doubt, but Drake May, he can sling it. Chargers defense, Jesse Minter doing a great job this season, potential head coaching candidate, but realistically, there's no doubt in my mind that the Patriots should win this game. The question is by how much. They'll probably win like 27-24 or something like that. So the spread is definitely a little sketchy in my eyes. I believe it's a 3.5-point spread for New England at home. But this is very well where we could see a new dynasty. We saw it with Tom Brady. Drake May he's a game changer. He can use his legs. He can use his arm. The only thing that I would say is that the Patriots they're not superhuman. They are human at the end of the day. That defense is not perfect, but Mike Vrabel, very good head coach. Now for the weirdest game. Okay, if you didn't see the flag, clearly I'm a Texans fan. However, why did this game have to be on a Monday night? Because I guarantee you, whoever wins that game Monday night is going to have to play Saturday and play on a short rest week. I know it's only 5 days, whatever you want to call it, but every day kind of matters in the NFL. I don't remember being a Monday night football playoff game in a while. Maybe I'm just crazy, but a wild card game on Monday night is just ridiculous. So anyway, a lot of people love Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not going to disagree. Aaron Rodgers, great MVP, Hall of Fame quarterback. I want to see him go on a Super Bowl run more than anyone. Not because I'm a Packers fan, not because I'm an Aaron Rodgers lover. I mean, here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to root for him. Won a Super Bowl. But again, Aaron Rodgers has a history of just not going far in the playoffs. It's not necessarily his fault. There's always something that goes weird in the games, whether it's a pass interference or something. And I'm not trying to make the excuses for the Steelers, but they just are not the better team here. Houston is by far the better defense. I don't want to say the better offense, but they have the better offensive weapons. On paper, Houston has the better offense, but knowing this team and the play calling, TJ Watt can very well return a touchdown for the Steelers, and that could win them the game. I do not trust the Texans' offense to save my life, but I don't trust Aaron Rodgers to score more than 20 points when, he struggled mightily against the Browns. However, they do get DK Metcalf back off that 2-game suspension. How in rhythm will he be with his guys? I'm sure he'll pick up right where he left off. But as for the Texans defense, I think that's the main winner in this game. I don't want to be biased, but realistically, the Steelers cannot keep up with that Texans defense. The Texans should not allow more than 14, 17 points. And the Texans defense hasn't been the healthiest. Kamari Lassiter didn't play last week. They did play the backups for the second half of the Colts game, but that was a big win in order to get the 5 seed to play the Steelers, because I did not want to play the Jaguars. Okay, AFC side of the wild card is done. We'll go through a little quickly now, considering it 8-9 minutes in. But Bears, Packers, a divisional matchup. If the Bears win, great milestone for the Bears. Bears fans are going to be buzzing. Hey, we're a dynasty. We're going to, even if we lose in the divisional, we're going to come back next year. If the Packers win, I feel like, Bears fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Bears fans are going to say, hey, it was a season to forget about. It's a season that we're not going to be cherishing. And obviously, I think this is a win for the Bears, even making it to the playoffs for the first time in a little bit. I think it's a win. You could say yes. Yes, they're in the number 2 seed. Yes, they're at home. They should win. But against the Packers, they struggled. I mean, it was pretty clear in the last 2 matchups. Looking at the 2 games they've played this season, 28-21, Packers win. 22-16 in overtime. Yes, the Bears win. They should not have won that game. They got a lucky onside kick. Yeah, a win is a win. This is the playoffs. You're at Soldier Field. It's going to be a tough atmosphere, no doubt. Bears fans are going to be bumping, for sure. But looking at this game, I know the Packers don't have Micah Parsons. That was a big factor in terms of, that's their best player overall. Jordan Love, they did sit their starters last week, maybe a little bit of rust coming off. But I just don't see a way that the Packers lose this game. Even against the Lions, the Bears did not impress me. They look sluggish. Again, they're not really an offense that, even as the number 2 seed, even if they were the number 1 seed, they do not impress me by the eye. And again, I don't want to trash the Bears. They've had a very successful season. Ben Johnson's been doing a great job with Caleb Williams. This team is going to be a threat to be reckoned with. They're going to be Super Bowl contenders for years to come. But a first-year team, they're meaning business. They're winning a lot of close regular season games. This is going to come down to a field goal game. And although I don't trust the Packers offense, and the Bears offense is a lot better, I still think the Packers should pull this one away, just considering how the defense is. So again, Bears fans, I'm sorry, the Packers are going to win. They're favorites on the road. Philly, we mentioned it earlier, but I do like the Eagles over the Niners. I don't like the Eagles offense by any means. Jalen Hurts did not look good at all. It's not really his fault, but Kevin Patullo's doing a terrible job. And this, again, reminds me of the year where the Eagles played the Bucks in the wild card round and got pretty stepped on. And that can very easily happen if the Niners offense is rolling. But what Vic Fangio has been able to do with this Eagles defense, it's something crazy. And Vic Fangio deserves a head coaching job after this season's up. And again, the first half of the season, statistically, the Eagles defense hasn't been crazy great. But towards the second half of the year, they really turned it on after that Giants game. 7 points to the Packers, 9 points to the Lions. 24 points to the Cowboys. But with a top 3 offense in Dallas, it's a pretty good game. And again, Eagles, they scored 3 points. I believe they were up 21-0 at half, and they lost that game. It's an Eagles season that they've been having. The Bears beat them on Black Friday, only scored 24. Chargers 22, they cooked like 8 field goals, 31-0, 29-18. Again, the point is they've been holding teams to low scoring. The Niners couldn't get anything going against Seattle, and that's what I said earlier. If that's how that game's going to go, granted, it's a fresh slate. All right, playoffs. It's a, forget, short-term memory, whatever you want to call it. Brock Purdy did not play well in that game. Mike McDonald, great coach, great play caller, whatever you want to call it. Eagles defense is going to give the Niners offense trouble. And again, we mentioned it, but the schedule to end the year, the Niners, not that they had a cookie cutter schedule, but they played a lot of nice defenses. Titans, not a great pass defense. Colts, not a great pass defense. Bears, no offense to them, they've had the most takeovers in the league this year with Dennis Allen, but they're not the greatest pass defense, bottom 10 in the NFL. And that's where, again, the Niners have been dominating on offense, and I think the Seahawks and Eagles defense is pretty equivalent. You can argue the Seahawks defense is better. You can argue the Eagles defense is better. On paper, Eagles are the better team. They should win this game at home. I just don't trust the Niners to be consistent. I know it's been one game that they kind of fell flat on their face. They can easily pick it back up. But by my philosophy of there's only going to be one upset this week, it's Jacksonville because they are on fire. Niners fell flat on their face. I don't trust them to recover. I know it's the playoffs. I know Kyle Shanahan's a great head coach. I know he's a lot of experience in the postseason. Eagles will find a way to survive, even though their offense has looked terrible. Rams are going to win that game. Rams-Panthers, again, as much as I want to pick the Panthers, want to root for the underdog, it's not possible. They played already this season, and it is just so hard to outcoach a team, match a team 2 games in a row. Again, the Rams, 10.5-point favorites. I don't know how many they win by, but they're going to win the game. They already played this season. McVay's going to find a way to get it done. The Panthers are one of the most inconsistent offenses in the league. Again, love the Rams. I think my top 3 confidence-wise, I'd say it's, I don't even want to say confidence because it's not even confidence. It's just like, I would be surprised if these teams lost. Packers should win. Rams should win. Patriots should win. I think Rams are 3rd there. Patriots are probably 1. Packers, I know Packers is weird considering they're the 7 seed over the 2 seed. Anyway, a lot of words. AFC divisional round. All of that for the wild card, by the way. What games do we go with first? I guess we'll go in a snake order. Packers aren't getting past the Seahawks. They're not. The Seahawks defense is unreal, and even though the Packers defense is pretty good as well, Seahawks are going to beat them. It's just a matter of Mike McDonald and his play calling. It's been a great defense for Seattle. It's been a great year for Sam Darnold, who's won back-to-back years with 14 wins, who I don't believe any other quarterback has ever done. It's not really a a game for me here. Again, the Packers offense is going to struggle. They have never really been a consistent offense, that a team that you can trust to score points, to go down and win you a football game. I'm sorry to Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, but again, they don't necessarily have an alpha wide receiver. You can argue that a group of 4 wide receivers is better, but Seattle is the better football team all the way around. Eagles, Rams. Rematch of last year's divisional round. Rams got pounded. Saquon Barkley ran all over that football team. Rematch of the regular season where the Rams lost on a blocked field goal. Special teams has been a problem for this team all year. It's just not good. But Rams are the better team. Eagles offense has not looked good. They're not good play callers. And again, it could go either way, but the Rams offense is better. The Rams defense, it can easily be better. You can argue it. And again, the Eagles have looked better with Vic Fangio, no doubt. But Chris Shula, who's again in line for a head coaching job under Sean McVay, feel like the Rams should win. Eagles, I just don't trust them to go far. Even if the Niners upset and somehow it's Niners-Rams, I still think the Rams should win that game. I know I could easily see the Niners going on a run to the NFC Championship with their potential, the veteran leadership in Kyle Shanahan and just the guys that they have. They've been there before. They can easily go on a run, like I just said. But, they're not healthy at all. Fred Warner might have been back for the divisional, but again. Eagles, Rams. I'm going to take a second here. All right. I needed to take a breath there. I've been talking way too fast. Sometimes when you just get the juices flowing, you start talking about this stuff, you just get so passionate. I love football. Who's winning the Super Bowl in the comments? Let me know. All right. We're going to leave it to the Rams to bring home the NFC. I could easily see the Seahawks winning it. However, in the 2 games the Rams played the Seahawks this year, it's been down to the wire. I'm not doubting that. And then, again, another divisional matchup that we're going to see. Who's going to be crowned in the NFC? I really like the Rams. I know they got really unlucky. I'm going to say it. Sam Darnold, again, he can win the big game, but it's like this game was just a blow-up of the Rams blew up. And I feel like a lot of people are going to overlook the Rams at the end of the season. The Rams were, this playoff team, the Super Bowl contender. And then they kind of lost to these teams that they shouldn't have lost to. They shouldn't have lost to the Panthers, shouldn't have lost to the Falcons, had some bad wins. Again, a team that was trending downwards towards the end of the regular season. I don't discredit that. 37-20, 27-24, 38-37, a lot of weird close games that should not be close. If you were to say here, mid-season, when Matt Stafford had his MVP campaign and then technically lost it, you're going to still see why the Rams are still Super Bowl contenders and they're still going to go on their run. That is the one team that is healthy, that has the coaching, that's been there before, that knows how to do it. So yes, it's a different pick. I've seen Rams, Patriots, I've seen Rams, Broncos, I've seen Seahawks. Seahawks can easily go. But again, Seahawks, for me, Mike McDonald doesn't have that playoff experience yet. And to be quite honest with you, the seeding doesn't really matter to me. Number 1, Seahawks, they got home field advantage. They get that bye. But arguably, the Seahawks, to me, are not the number 1 seed. They're not the most shocking team. And this could be a hot take, but I think that a lot of people are starting to overrate that Seahawks team. That if you can shut down that offense and just somehow find a way to beat the Mike McDonald schemed defense, you can find a way to win. I mean, we saw it. Again, this is going to sound stupid, but we saw it in the overtime game. It really is bad logic. I mean, there's not really any logic behind it. It's just a philosophy for me that I've seen. I think the Seahawks can be beaten. Obviously, every team can be beaten. Every team is human. Every team has errors. And again, officiating comes into play. Flags, a lot of things come into play. However, looking at this game right here, wherever it is, this game, the overtime game, 38-37, there's no business the Seahawks had being in that game. They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. They were down, 16, right? Sam Darnold had 150 yards passing and 2 picks. Yeah, he turned it around. They did great. They got in. Clint Kubiak, great job play calling. Again, I'm not saying this is going to be a blowout by any means. It's going to be a field goal apart. But I really do believe the Rams are the better football team. I trust Matthew Stafford and that offense to go down and win me the game a lot more than I do Sam Darnold. And that offense is very well capable of it. The Seahawks can very well easily do that. I just trust the Rams a little bit more here. Yeah, the Seahawks are probably the better team on paper, especially in the special teams department. Jason Myers, I don't know how to feel about Mavis. But yeah, that's the NFC crown. I had it written down, but again, anything can happen. The Niners can end up in the NFC Championship. The Seahawks can go to the Super Bowl. Somehow the Eagles can pull off the impossible. And although their offense has struggled, their defense can lead them to victory. The only thing I would be shocked with, if the Panthers or Bears go on a run, I would be shocked with that. All right, AFC divisional round. Let's go through it. Texans, Broncos. I have to say, I have to get off my chest. Broncos are not impressive. They're not. They are not. They've won a lot of close games this year, and I've seen a lot of just bogus about, the stats against common opponents, the stats against winning records. I don't care about Bo Nix's stats against winning opponents. You really, I've seen people pull that argument. It's just like, look at the Broncos. What are they good? They're good at defense. Can the Broncos defense beat the Texans defense? Excuse me, I said that wrong. Can the Broncos offense beat the Texans defense? And same thing vice versa. Can the Texans offense beat the Broncos defense? We will now find out with a healthy CJ Stroud. Is CJ Stroud finished that game? They would have beat Denver. Now they get their chance. Again, biased Texans fan, you can yell at me in the comments. I do not think Denver has any business being in the divisional round. They've been kind of just getting by all year with these, again, I don't want to say lucky, but it's been these come from behind victories, these crazy close games that somehow Sean Payton has been pulling off. So again, playoff experience. Bo Nix is played solid this year. The defense, they've been riding on them. They've been doing great. But I think the Texans can easily end this streak. They have the better defense. I know CJ Stroud's inconsistent. I know the offensive play calling for the Texans is terrible. But this is very well going to come down to a field goal as well. It's going to be a lower scoring game. And I like the Texans here. Could easily be Texans-Jags. I would love to see that as a Texans fan. The Patriots are going to beat out the Jags. It's going to be an awesome game. Liam Cohen has done a great job this year. And I'm just going to pick the next game already. It's just because I know I'm just rambling too much here. But yeah, Patriots-Jags is going to be so interesting. A rematch of that AFC Championship, the last time the Jags kind of, almost went to the Super Bowl. What do we call it? 2017. They had a squad. I mean, Saxonville was something special. And again, I could easily see them going to the conference championship. We've seen New England. They are beatable. But again, a team that's hot, they're going to do well. Mike Vrabel, he's got the right team. He's got the right quarterback. Can Jacksonville play defense? I am not sure, but Mike Vrabel is going to do a little bit better on the defense. I'm sure this will be like a 50-48 game, but it's going to be awesome. Trevor Lawrence, again, both teams very hot. Can easily see either team winning. Patriots, Texans, AFC Championship. You can call me biased. It might be Texans, could be Jaguars. It really could be anything. Whew. I don't trust the Texans. I'm not going to be biased, pick my team to go to the Super Bowl. I would love to. But the offense, I would be shocked if they do make it to the conference championship just because they can't rely on the defense the whole time. If they went to the Super Bowl, I'd be stoked. But yeah, in the end, the Texans offense is not going to be enough to win them everything in itself. So the Patriots, they're going to prevail. They're the better team. Honestly, it could be a beat down because the Texans offense is so bad. The only reason I think they beat the Broncos is because the Texans defense is good enough to beat a subpar offense. The Broncos have been so inconsistent on offense this year. They've had good games. They've had bad games. Bo Nix against, bad defenses has not really played too well. And then Drake May, again, he might struggle a little bit, but not mightily. He's going to put up 20-plus points. I don't trust the Broncos to put up 20-plus points. And all you really need to do to beat the Texans, score 24, 30 points, and you win the game. You score more than 20 points, you're probably going to beat the Texans because they just don't have the muscle power to win that kind of game. And the New England defense, although it's not the greatest pass defense, they are very good run defense. They're a very good middle-of-the-pack team. And the Texans love to run the ball. They love to run bootlegs. Enough about that. The Super Bowl. Rematch of Super Bowl 53. Let me pull it up. Rematch of Super Bowl 53, I believe. 13-3 Patriots. Crazy low scoring game. I could see a very high scoring game and a crazy Super Bowl. However, I think the Rams get their revenge in this one. Rams win the Super Bowl. Again, it's going to be really close. Patriots are a great team. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the Rams have, realistically, they shouldn't be here just because there's a lot of flaws in that team. The defense has been exposed. The special teams has not done a great job. And again, we can easily see anything happening in the AFC, in the NFC. The playoffs are the most unpredictable part of sports, any sports, rather than football. But I got your Rams as your Super Bowl champions. I'll go with a score prediction of 34-27. It's going to be a crazy game. If I even get half of these correct, I'll be okay. But just to get that off the screen for you, let's take a look at the current bracket. 25 minutes in. I didn't think I was going to take this long to just absolutely yap about these teams, but let me know your thoughts. Again, Buffalo can very easily go on a run. I think whoever wins that Buffalo-Jacksonville game very well can be the team that goes past New England, but if the fact that New England is not a bye kind of gives the 6 and 3 seed a disadvantage, because if New England was a bye, I do believe Denver as a second seed would get first round, regardless, even with the bye, I think they can get first round just because they haven't impressed me this year. But yeah, enough talking for me. Let me know who's winning the Super Bowl. Let me know how much of you agree or disagree with my predictions. It's been fun. It's been real. A lot of crazy good teams that have had good regular seasons that could get knocked off. A lot of unexpected things that could happen. I could be completely wrong. Bears could go to the NFC Championship. Broncos could go to the AFC. Anything could happen. I'm not doubting that. But again, this is my philosophy. It's been the Big Z Breakdown. Mike Zanetti. Thank you for hanging out. And we'll see you for the Super Bowl. Or whatever's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Let me know. Sub to the channel if you're new. Peace.